What's up, you guys? Hope you guys are doing awesome. So today in this video, we're going to go over some guides that were made by the community that I think are very necessary in learning how to play and dominate in Defina. So let's get into them. Before we do that, just know that this is all speculation. Don't invest more than what you can lose. Assume that you will lose everything and you won't get rich quick, especially in a super high risk environment such as NFT gaming. 99% of these games will fail, okay? So please do your own research. Don't trust random people like me off the internet with your financial well-being. And most importantly, in a game like Defina, it comes down to just trying it. It comes down to your unique personality and playstyle, which will be illustrated in the way you play. So it just comes down to testing it out and recording and tracking, okay? But let's get some general ideas when we do that. All right, so starting out, getting into the white paper will be really good. This is where you get into skilled stats. Let me pull that up real quick. For example, you go to white paper, you click on a faction. Let's click on Yisun. You get to see the percentages of the skills that is possible. So you can plan to rebirth it, right? So let's say in a certain build, you want to maximize your hyper skill. So you keep rebirthing to get 420%. Maybe in another build, you're focusing on his justice skill attack. So you try to rebirth to 210%. So it just comes down to your preference, okay? Furthermore, shoutouts to Mochuk. If you click on rebirth, then rebirthing stats, you get to click on the max available stats in a certain pool from A to SSS. And then Mochuk has a guide where he talks about the general builds like a support, Glass Canyon, Tank, etc. So let's say, for example, you have an S character like a Beowulf that is around like level 10 or something. So around like right here. So what you could do is you look for the max HP possible. So when Beowulf is around 2800, that'd be a good sign. And let's say you want to do high attack speed, low crit, because you're doing a 4 lightning build where you already have 30% crit, right? And then maybe medium speed. So for attack, you can go for around 260. For crit, you can go on the low end, like around 150, 160. And then for speed, you can go around the medium end, so around like 200. You can click on other articles, like what they break down in the profits they make off of NFT sales, like their allocation investing periods. So TG is around the 11th to 12th of every month. So 9 months, the TG was, I believe, October 12th-ish. So 9 months, that'll be like July for privates. And then seed, 11 months, that'll be like September until it ends. Then the team unlocking will be October 12th, 2022. Then they will unlock for the next 11 months. Then someone also made like a complete gameplay guide to Defina where they just list all the features, and Grass also did that too. Shout out to her, and they're both really good. So you can just read both and you can pick up some tips from both of them. So I highly recommend reading them. And then for Putrius, they created a wiki where you can look at the elements easily. We can look at that right here. So you get to see all the elements in a single article because the white paper is like kind of hard to read. So that'll make it a lot easier. And then we got an article for liquidity pool staking, or if you want to have a video, you can just click on my channel in my playlist of Defina. They have one right there. Then for Defina withdrawing scaling, you have to click on this link, and it's between 1 to 15 days, where the earlier you withdraw, the more Defina is deducted in its hacks. But you can see the specific breakdown of that scaling in the article if you want more info. Alright, so for earnings maximizations, there's two really good ones. Aries started everything with her earnings tracker, so we can look at that right now. So you can just make a copy of this table where it shows earnings from Adventure, Arena, the Tower, along with your expenses too. So you can continuously track and to make sure you're on course. Then she also made an awesome hero skill and stats optimizer, where if you input your character's HP, attack, passive whatever, they're going to compare that to what it could be optimally along the skills, also for basic, skill, and hyper. So if you're going for a tank build, you can compare that to here. If the bar is more full, then you'll have a better tank build. Then if you're looking for a more strong hyper skill, then the fuller it is, the better it'll be. So you can really use this to really optimize your characters to make them super strong. Then Jiret also did something similar, and he incorporated a weekly breakdown too, so you can use that too. Then Sergio's, he has an earnings guide where he breaks down all of this in a video format, which is super cool. Then we also have the Poison Man making a Towers earning guide, which you can look here. So this one's super useful, right? You got from F to E, D, C, B, A, S, 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 S. So you can compare that with the rewards per hour, right? I think the most efficient ones are the D, 7 for 21, and then there's 15 for 45 for C, and then there's B, supposedly 21 for 63, another one 20 for 90, 57 for 180, 360 for 1080. However, these later ones have a less success rates, so you have to keep that into mind too. C and below, mostly it's like almost guaranteed if you have like at least an SS. Then for these, it gets a little trickier, so you can input and compare the success rate to the amount of rewards you may receive. And another thing to keep into mind are the other rewards could be very useful too, right? Like the breakthrough potion number 2s, or the 24-hour shields, 8-hour shields, 4-hour shields. Those are super useful stamina potions too. So that's another thing to consider when you're thinking about whether to risk it all or not. Alright, then last page is for gameplay studying. So here are some awesome YouTube channels I found while looking for Defina. We got Malaka TV. He brought the great Brazilian community, which is awesome. We got, I don't even know how to say that, but he's awesome too. Shibo-san, Metadex, Pharaoh TV. So these are just some of the great YouTubers that are out there covering Defina, and they each have different teams you can watch and study. You can also look at my YouTube channel where I have like 3 videos on gameplay, where you can also look at the teams too, so you can get an idea of like what you want as a team too. But ultimately it just comes down to trying out the game, seeing what you actually like. For example, I was trying to make Beowulf a tank for the other characters, but she ended up being my late 1-1 finisher. Then also try to make, what's her name, Alexander, like a tank too, but then she ended up being like my secondary carry. So even if you have a theory that's in your mind, when you practically do it, it may be different, because maybe you realize that one of your character's stats has their hyper skill maxed out, so they end up becoming a carry. Or you notice that maybe another character you thought was a carry, they have their passive HP skill maxed out, so then you're, oh wow, wait, this is like way better as a tank, right? So it just really depends. It comes down to just trying it out. So thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like, comment what you think. Let me know what other useful Defina guides you want, and then I'll add that to the PowerPoints, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And if you want to support the channel further, there are referral codes and a MetaMask address in the caption if you want to donate. And most importantly, these videos are for entertainment purposes and are not recommendations, as I'm not a licensed professional. You win in crypto by surviving long term and collecting potential blue chips like Defina early. This also means less excessive leverage, less liquidations, and by protecting your capital to survive in the game long term. And the best investments are the ones where you have the greatest conviction by doing your own research, so not following blindly like some random YouTuber or Twitter person, right? It's by discovering these calls first, because by the time you hear it on social media, it's probably too late. Furthermore, the best play isn't some token, it's by contributing your unique personality and skill set to an awesome community's needs, whether you're good at, for example, these people, they created their own skills, Excel sheets to organize everything. Someone else that might be marketing, another person that might be creating fan art, another person might be coding, another person might be community management. There's just so many things that you can contribute to a community that you really like. It could also be creating game guides, right? So just anything that you uniquely can offer, that'll be the greatest play, which usually leads to some benefits like exclusive airdrops, exclusive whitelists, etc. Right? But most importantly, it's just by building that awesome community that you really enjoy living in. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and talk to y'all next time.